All right, happy Saturday morning, everyone. Hope you're all ready to attack the weekend and get ahead of everyone else. So let's get straight into it. So we had this range which we monitored. I wouldn't say we charted up, but then we got a full reversal pretty quickly, back down. Took out all these lows. And not showing any signs of strength at the moment, so we're also leaving quite a bit of supply behind as well, which is something to take note of. Like, you can technically chart this up. Looking at this on the lower time frame, yeah, it's been ever so slightly mitigated. And then this is the unmitigated part of it. So yeah, the way we've moved down, I'm definitely expecting lower. I will look for re-entry opportunities. So if we can somehow, slowly pull back up in here and create some form of, distribution, I will be willing to take. It doesn't necessarily have to sweep this or mitigate this supply. But I do expect a full rotation all the way down into this demand, and whether we bounce off it or rip through, who knows. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan here. Just be patient. There's still liquidity that needs to get taken out. I do want to see if there is any demand in there. It doesn't. There might be something locally, but it doesn't look overly clean. Okay, you can chart this as demand. It's just not that clean. Is this valid? All right. Well, definitely it doesn't look like it has been mitigated. At least here. I just can't remember if it got mitigated later on down the track. Okay, it has. It certainly has. So yeah, we're just kind of monitoring these two levels here. Other than that, not much else to do, really. I'm obviously going to expect USDTs going higher and looking to complete the schematic. So yeah, valid accumulation model looks to get completed. Which, technically speaking, it is part of a higher time frame accumulation model. Range low, range height, tap 1, 2, 3. But there is quite a bit of supply above, so I think it will get to this supply quite soon. I can see it completing the completing the local model and then pushing higher. Whether it rejects or not, I don't know. We can only wait and see what happens. ETH. Similar story for ETH running through demand. Leaving unmitigated supply above. Nothing really to focus on at the moment here. Yeah, not a whole lot. Let's have a look at WIF. So yeah, here's my entry on WIF, which I did, and I took yesterday live on the video, live on stream. Got the expectational order flow correct because we still ended up going down, but got stopped out and then moved back down. And yeah, you can see here that we perfectly mitigated this more refined supply area. So like there was reason for us to go for price to go higher. There definitely was, but in real time, this was a nice model. Yeah, like it grabbed all this extreme liquidity, and yeah, like valid entry, but we got stopped out, and that's the way of the game, guys. So what I will do actually is I'm going to quickly change my journal image because when I journal my trades, I also take a photo of them. But we have had more price action since. Pretty sure I only journaled up to like here where I got stopped out, but now that it showcases me that we did hit this refined area, that is good food for thought there. All right. Unmitigated demand below was what I journaled, and there was right there, which you can see it. But I will add to the journal refined supply above. It's still good, like for me as a trader, it's good to see when price gets my expectational order flow correct, but it's just the entries just off. Unmitigated demand below and refined supply above. Boom, done. All right, let's move on to the next. Asta. I think any distributions that we drew out yesterday, or potential distribution models that we drew out yesterday, have been invalidated. You know what? Asta's still going all right for now. Still alive. We have our extreme liquidity. So yeah, this is still valid. Keep an eye out there. Let's have a look at Doge. Doge is still part of this high time frame model as well, which is honestly quite still very much at play here. We might be leaving some supply above us just here locally. We did have a really nice you know what? I stand corrected. It wasn't a really nice distribution because the distance here between tap 1 and 2 is a lot shorter or smaller than the distance between tap 2 and 3. So this would not have been a valid entry any way you look at it. But yeah, we have left some supply here, which will get mitigated quite soon, I believe. Sweet, perfect. Yeah, that's it for Doge. Not much more to be done here. This demand has been mitigated, so has this. Let's move on. XMR. We had this distribution, which played off really nice, and this was, I'm trying to remember, was there a reason I didn't take this? Maybe because of the break of structure? Because it, like, perfect reaction. Duration as well, probably. It is a very low time frame scalp. Yeah, 5 hours, fair enough. Could you have entered though? That's my question. Yeah, you could have entered here, but for very little risk to reward. Yeah. Yeah, so way too low time frame here. It is a local model, but it's a valid model. It broke structure really nicely. Mitigated this applied to the centimeter or to the pip. Yeah, really clean. Well, we are expecting lower. We've distributed twice here. We're expecting supply perfectly. So there's, like, same thing, unless we somehow get a distribution. But it has to respect something. Like, this was clean, but it was just way too low time frame. This was nice as well. But I expect this demand to get hit sooner rather than later, and it probably will. So yeah, not much more to do here for XMR. BNB was in a higher time frame distribution, still is in a higher time frame distribution. We do have supply above, which is slowly moving up there. I would just be very careful if you are going to, if a local model does present itself here, take it and take the local model and definitely de-risk, because I do expect, even if a local model creates itself here and confirms itself and hits its local target, I do think it will just end up coming back higher, because we do have a much refined and very clean supply POI above, and liquidity as well. So, and then if you do distribute here locally, then that's when you can just let it run all the way to range low, because it is a valid model. But this is just way too deep into the range for this high time frame model to be confirmed. So yeah, you might get a local reaction from this supply here, but don't expect it to run to the bottom, because there's a lot more key supply above us. So yeah, so far still to the plan. Still sticking to the plan here. I think a lot of pairs would have left a little bit of supply here, so it's good to chart to see how price reacts to it. And we have not, we do have supply here. Great. So yeah, quite a few supply levels below, not many demand levels. Sorry, quite a few supply levels above, not many demand levels below. Yeah. Quant, let's have a look at Quant. Ran through supply. But I do still want to hit this liquidity and supply POI. We do still have demand below. So yeah, I would personally just be a bit aware here with Quant. I would not be looking to trade anything here. You can see it was a fast expansion. I would just still be giving this time, and hopefully, ideally it would be nice to mitigate this demand, and then we just slowly make our way for the final, tap 3, something like that. It's very possible. We're quite close to the demand, so we'll see what happens. If you were to be even more specific and get an even better reaction, it would be nice to get a little accumulation model here, which we can then take it all the way into this liquidity, extreme liquidity here, and then you take a little distribution here if it happens. So that could leave you with some dangerous risk to reward, but only time will tell. Keep an eye out there. Let's have a look at Sol. Sol is still in its high time frame distribution model, but it's not looking as likely. If we start reversing up now, we've left really nice liquidity below. Well, there already is a really nice liquidity below. I do think it will get taken. Then you do have a structure supply chain here. Perfect. All right. Yeah, and lots of demand created on this move up into tap 2, which has been ran through. And there is some demand here. Sweet. All right. Let's see what Litecoin is doing. Yeah, it's still doing this technically confirmed distribution with 2 very close taps, and it looks like it will complete itself by the looks of it. How clean of a break of structure did we get is my question. Yeah, we broke structure pretty convincingly. Let's say you entered there. Stops above there. You would be in quite a bit of profit here. Yeah, it would be a nice 7.5 risk to reward trade, which looks like it will play out. And that was a really clean entry, to be honest, on the 3 minute. Yeah, and I think we're continuing to leave behind supply. Yes, we are. We've mitigated this supply, and then this supply has been mitigated. Yeah, so I do expect this to complete itself. Let's have a look at XRP. This is done. Not a valid model. We never got the confirmation. Same thing, I expect this demand to get hit. Not a whole lot there. Pepe, we had a local model. I don't think it got confirmed. No, never did. Never got confirmed. Like, you had this, but it was just way too market structure like for me to even look at it. And we are continuing to leave behind supply. So there's a few pairs here that you can see are leaving quite a bit of supply. Like, definitely look for potential retracements and distributions of these supply POIs. Hype. Now with Hype, obviously I'm using this. I'm using this as one tap. Not a chance that that's two taps. And as I've previously said, so far we remain two planned, but I do want us to come when we pull back. I want us to pull back a little bit deeper into here around DQ, and then slowly begin our retrace and back up, grab that extreme liquidity, and then flush down. So this, like, you'd expect a confirmation here around like August, let's say, maybe even September really. So we're a while away from this model. Fartcoin, same thing, never got a confirmation there. I think maybe we got a local distribution there, quite possibly, yes. Then give me a minute, I just got to mute myself. Give me a second. All right. So yeah, I think we did distribute here, and it was valid. Yeah, and like you can see here, textbook. There must have just not been a clean entry here, because this is our range. Textbook model 1. Oh, okay. Like there was reasons to enter, but I think there was just more reasons to not enter. I'm just trying to figure out why. It would have also, okay. It also occurred on a Monday morning where I would not have been on the charts and I would have been at work here. So that is fair enough. That is very fair enough there. Like, yeah, you could have entered here. And it would have given you locally decent tourist reward, even more if you really wanted. Or a little bit more. Which you could have, yeah, then just trailed down, knowing the higher time frame context. And similar to, yeah, you would have had like a 10 risk to reward trade here, so. Now I know why I was not able to enter there. That confirms everything I needed confirmed for me. Perfect. Well, we've figured that one out. Yeah, nothing really to milk out of here. All right. One thing I want to quickly do, because I remember I took an entry here and it played off, but I can't remember if it was in that exact position or it was somewhere else along the lines. I have a feeling it happened here maybe, but it would have just been completed. Because if I entered up there, then I'm intrigued as to why I didn't let this thing run. Okay, I have found it. Where did I enter? Perfect. So I actually did enter this. I entered this exact model, I believe. Yes, I did. I must have entered this, like, I can't figure out where on earth I entered this, because 11th, yeah, so I entered this at 11th of the 5th. Oh, I must have been working from her, because Mondays I'm in the office, so I'm like, I just couldn't figure out how on earth I managed to enter this at 10:05 a.m. on a Monday. But it was the one day this month that I wasn't in the office on a Monday. So yeah, that makes sense. Could have let that run realistically, but I didn't, but it's all been journaled. Interesting. All right. And there was a little bit of demand below, but not that much. And I think in hindsight, just looking at this now, the only reason I didn't really let this thing run was because there's no return to zone visible here. You can see quite clearly there is no return to zone, so there's no real reason for us to come down as quick as we did. So yeah, that's my my TA on this pair. But good to know that I did take that setup. There we go. We got to the bottom of it. XLM. Not a whole lot here. Not a whole lot here. We've mitigated demand. Ton, same thing. We're absolutely ripping through demand right now. And I expect us to go lower. Pump fund, we had this like dodgy distribution occur, which played off. We've swept this liquidity. Yeah, so we're kind of like, we're in this awkward high time frame range, which is looking less and less like a range the more I look at it. Yeah, that wasn't as clean. Yeah, not a whole lot. I'm just, as I've said it before, like the moment you try like mill things off the chart, that's when you wait. It's never gonna happen for you. This tower compression, perfect. Like this is a perfect example of first move, fake move, then we move lower. Like this is exactly what compressions do. You know, you got the average retail guy who's charted the compression, bang, well, we've burst out, we're longing. And there you go, first move, fake move, continuation, move back down. So that's quite textbook, to be honest. Not a whole lot at the moment. You've got somewhat of supply here, but then that's been mitigated, as you can see here. Like you have this supply here, but it's not as, you know, it's grabbed nothing to its left, so I'm not going to chart it at all. For Tau at the moment, not much else to do really. Virtual, let's have a look here. Same thing, we've left really nice supply above, but not a whole lot to do. Oops. Maybe there is some form of structure supply there, which there might be. I think there is. Like even that is valid. That's all valid supply. So I will happily do that. Awesome. Other than that, guys, like this is just ranging. Render has exponentially moved up and ran through this a wick to the supply, let's say, and I think it's left more supply behind. Yes, on the 1 hour there, or 2 hour. Nothing really to trade there. Now with cake, looking at this context, you are expecting lower. So I do expect lower. Yeah, not a whole lot here. Arve. Same thing, like, yes, you might say this is somewhat of an accumulation, but it's just not, and we've grabbed liquidity, which is all we wanted. And there's so much supply above, so yeah. Nah, not clean at all. And yeah, and then you've left more supply here, as you can see. So I'm gonna be getting a lot of alerts going off when all these pairs mitigate their little supply POIs. But you never know, maybe at the time this happens, one pair's on its way to creating a really nice distribution schematic to continue going lower, so we'll see. SUI, not a whole lot. Not of interest. Link. This could be something to take note, but I have a feeling it's way too far outside of its DL limit. Let's have a look. Borderline. Yeah. It's just too... It's just closed off. Too far. It's way too far out. Curious to see if there are any POIs here worth looking into a little bit closer. This is just this, which is valid actually. So we'll see if we ever get a local model up in here. If we get a local model up in here, might consider it, but otherwise, not really. And then I will just draw the range just to remind myself. Yeah, regardless, it's not a clean range, and you're going to need a really nice return to zone coming into this supply POI if we are to do anything. Yeah, other than that, Bitcoin Cash is continuing to go lower. Clean distribution here if anyone took it back in November last year. Really clean. And if you've taken it, fair play if you're still holding. You need to have conviction in your own strategy and setup if you want to make it. It's just that simple. Now what's happened here? Trumpy. Little local distribution here, which played off really nicely. Nice. Fair play. Fair play to whoever took it last night at 3:30 in the morning. AUD time. AUS time, realistically. And then Brett's not a whole lot going on here. So yeah, that's it for crypto for today. We'll move Asta to the top. Keep an eye out on Asta. Keep an eye out on Doge. XMR, keep an eye out there. No, don't keep an eye on XMR. Keep an eye on BNB. Keep an eye out on Quant. Yeah, keep an eye out on Quant. Sol. And Litecoin. Keep an eye out on Litecoin. No, don't keep an eye on Litecoin. Yeah. Sol's still in play, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, your main ones to watch are Asta, Doge, and BNB. Keep a close eye out on them. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, guys. Might not get a video tomorrow. What's just happened? What has just happened? All right. Well, I'm hoping this recorded. But yeah, if you've made it this far, enjoy your weekend. Stay present, stay disciplined, and I will catch you all soon. Peace.